Have you ever wanted to have things like this, or this in your content, but you don't have time to spend hours learning new editing skills? Good thing there's Canva. And even better, you can use it for more than just adding cute text and graphics. Hey content cousins and friends, Tarynallyssa here. Today I'm going to show you 5 ways that I use Canva to upgrade my YouTube videos so that you can use it to make your next video a banger. And no friend, this is not an ad. I'll also add that I have a pro account. We'll kick things off in Canva before heading to the editing software for the final product. I edit in Final Cut Pro. It is not updated, don't judge me. It's working kind of sort of right now. I probably need a whole new computer situation. Anyway, we're gonna start out with some basics and then we're gonna get a little more fun. First up, text. If you're familiar with Canva, then the text feature is probably one of the first things you use, but you might be wondering why we wouldn't just use your text generator in your editing software. In Final Cut Pro, they're called titles. I personally find those pretty generic and a little bit difficult to customize. Instead, you use Canva's many text options and templates to customize your own text graphics for your videos to match your personal brand or the theme or mood of a video. This not only allows you to build a recognizable brand, but enhances the aesthetic of your videos without requiring advanced design skills. So typically what I do to stay consistent with my text across my videos is I just duplicate projects inside of Canva. This is what I use for a recent video all about toxic creativity. If you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out. But as you can see inside of the text features, I actually have my own brand fonts in here. This just helps me stay consistent so I don't have to think. And as you can see, there are so many different types of fonts to choose from. And you can even search for text as well. You can just scroll and take a look at all the font combinations. And there's lots of fun ones to play with. And you can, change the colors, manipulate these. As you can see, this one has an effect on it. But you can change that as well. And it has so many different features you can use to really customize the text and make it your own for however you need it. I typically use it for if I'm defining something or if I want to really have a word stand out, I'll bold it here. Basically, anytime I want to call attention to something I'm saying, I'll use the text graphic to just cement the importance of it. And for downloading, it's pretty simple. You'll click the share button. I like to hit the arrow over here on the right-hand side before download just to make sure it does everything correctly, because you could just straight download, but I want to get the settings right. You want to do a PNG and you want to make sure you click transparent background. If you don't click transparent background, you won't be able to get rid of the black space in here. And then download whatever pages you need. Next, graphics. So I don't really use a whole lot of image pop-ups in my content, but I do like to have the social media logos pop up. So I'll have one for Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Notion, Canva, because I talk about these things in my content often. And again, it's about keeping visual interest, and having these pop-ups just help remind people of what we're talking about in these talking head videos. Because just sitting here looking at me for 10 minutes talking with nothing else on the screen but me, I mean, you might think I'm cute or whatever, but like, it's probably boring. So graphics, just like text, really help to bring emphasis to what you're talking about. Canva has a huge library of graphics, many of them customizable, and they can be used to add visual interest and provide more context to your talking head videos. So just go over to elements, and as you can see in the graphics section, they have some they're suggesting for me because that's what I've been using this particular file for, just for social logos and things like that. But as you can see, they have all types of graphics. Here's some that I've played with lately. And you can just drag and drop them in there. My recommendation for graphics is to keep one image per page. This just makes it a lot cleaner so you don't have to do any cropping in your editing apps later. As far as download settings, as you can see, this is trying to download as a MP4 file, so we don't want that. We are just going to download this as a PNG and make sure that background is transparent. Pro tip, if you want to help make this a little bit cleaner, you can change this background to green, to like a really high green, which will help later in your editing software as well. So now that we're past the basics, let's get into the good stuff. Like I said at the beginning of this video, you can do way more than just add text and graphics, but you can also create custom animations. I'm nerding out over here. Animations can draw attention to specific details, messages, or important elements within a design, ensuring viewers notice and remember critical information. They allow us to express moods, feelings, and style in a way that words and images can't quite capture. A typical animation you'll get from me is a CTA, or a call to action. And while I still might verbalize asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, not having to say it every time is kind of nice. These animations create a much more subtle way to ask people to engage with you. It looks really professional, and creating your own animations is pretty easy. So we'll create a new page. See, we have that green screen background. That'll be important later when we export. So we'll go to elements and look for some graphics for subscribe. Actually, let's do the bell notification. I don't have that one yet. I'm actually gonna pop over to YouTube real quick to see what that notification even looks like. Okay, so now I know what it looks like. So I'm gonna try to create my own little subscribe bell thingy. I think this is the best we're gonna do with the bell icon. I could also do it in color. Decisions. These two are more similar. I'm thinking a little too hard right now. I think we're gonna go with this and go with this as is. I'm actually gonna even just duplicate this page right now. And then it needs to say subscribed, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some text. I don't really care about it looking like YouTube's text, but I do want it to be all caps. Subscribed. This is where things always get a little tricky with text, because you want there to be enough room for when the image changes for the word to still fit with all the bells and whistles. So I think I should actually make this a tad bit smaller, because you want it to be able to fit when you add the animations. I didn't finish my shape back here, so I'm gonna go back to my elements. Oh, looks like they have this shape, so I'm gonna get rid of this one and use this one instead. This is kind of the shape I was looking for. We'll just, oopsies, we'll just stretch it out. So this is the first page, and I don't need it to be quite so long, probably just like 2.5 seconds is good. Now that my first page is done, I'm actually gonna duplicate this too, and I'll just drag this over, like copying and pasting it in here. I think we still want it to be about the same size and about the same position. And then we'll change this to subscribed. Yeah, that's not too bad. We know what our before and after is gonna look like, but how does the animation come in? How can we get a little mouse click in here? We're still gonna look for elements. We're gonna look for a mouse. We got lots of options. We're gonna go with the standard mouse. Why don't we do this one that's kind of funky? So I'm gonna move my element all the way down here so you kind of can't see it, because I want my mouse to kind of make a funky path up to the subscribe bell, because I want that to be attention grabbing. So I'm gonna click create animation. Now I'm going to follow the instructions. I'm gonna hold down shift and drag to create my movement. I'll be able to adjust the speed and everything later, so I'm gonna take my time here. Okay, so I kind of made a funky little path there. We're gonna speed it up a little bit. You can even add animations to your animations and add some motion effects. So I'll add a little wiggle there too. And I think I want it to go a little bit faster. So now my animation is done. Let's play it. Something's a little off. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna duplicate this page one more time so that I can get the page without the mouse. And now it should look correct. A little tweaking and you'll get a final result that looks something like this. So how do we download our animations? Super simple. You'll click the share button, head over to your download settings. Make sure you're downloading an MP4 file so that your animations stay intact. And you want to download all the pages in your project. You have the option to download your pages as separate files. If you do that, it will mess up your video and have each clip as its own file. You don't want that. You can always chop it up in your editor, keep it as one file, and you're good to go. Next, and probably my most favorite, is B-roll. The best way to tell stories on YouTube is by showing it. If you haven't noticed, that's the theme. I like to use a little border for mine, but you can play with it in whatever aesthetic works best for you and your content. Some folks just pop it right in there so it fits the screen the same as what you're watching right now. Others like to maybe give a little recording camera if they're shooting like vlog style content. It really just depends on your aesthetic and your brand. So I actually keep a B-roll library for my content creator series because I know that I'm going to be talking about creators often, and I'm gonna be needing scenes and images of my fellow creators that I don't necessarily have. And because I pay for Canva Pro, I have access to all of these images that I can use for my videos over and over again. I like to use a little frame in mine. It gives you a break from whatever scene I'm sitting in to let you know we're diving into a sneak peek window of what I'm talking about. I think it just helps the viewer visualize more. If you have other ideas, let me know in the comments below. But this is what my library looks like, and creating your own is really simple. I decided to use one of my brand colors as the background, and I just went with the lightest color. I'll start from scratch and show you how you can do it too. So I'll just hit the plus button on this project. I make sure, I should have said this earlier, but you really want to make sure your dimensions are the correct dimensions. So for YouTube, you want to make sure everything is 1920 by 1080 pixels. And I'm going to go over to elements. Again, this is just your bestie in this video. And I'm going to scroll all the way down. As you can see, they have photos, which you can add to your videos as well. But there's just something about video that I think elevates the experience even more. And as you can see, there's a whole library of shots. They have aerial shots. Like, I don't have a drone. I can't get this. But if I'm talking about XYZ city or just being in a city in general, I can use these shots in my content. And the great thing is it's searchable. So let's say you need someone chopping wood. They'll find just somebody chopping wood. Maybe you don't need the whole clip, so you can come down to this bar and shorten the clip. You can drag and drop to your heart's desire. You also have the ability to trim and splice these as well. So you can use the S key, or you can double tap and split the image. So now you have two separate clips. This first one and this second one. I'm sorry guys, I don't know. Download settings are the same as your animations. Oh no, my light died. Oh well. Download settings are the same as your animations. MP4 download, except you do want to download these as separate files, because otherwise if you do all your B-roll at once, you'll have one large file, which doesn't allow you to then name your clips to use them later. For any image or video that you need to make transparent, you will need to do that inside your editing software. I'm not gonna get into it into this video, but I've gone ahead and linked someone's video who uses Final Cut Pro so you can see the process. I think we got it, bruv. Now that you know how to use Canva to upgrade your next YouTube video, you wanna make sure that that video actually gets seen by using search engine friendly content. I talk more about how to create evergreen content in this video here. Check it out next. Thanks for watching, and keep creating, my friends.